Hello everyone and welcome to Shenanigoons, a D&D Spelljammer campaign where science and magic collide and you contribute to the chaos. And hello to our players. Hello players, how are you all today?
Hello.
Doing good.
Hi.
What was that,
Hi.
Kyle?
Hi.
there.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. And hello to our audience. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate that. We are getting started here with our craziness tonight. So we're going to go ahead and get right into all of our...
Oh my!
Waiting for that.
We've got a new subscriber.
Right off
Thank
the
you,
start.
Wolf.
Hi, Wolf.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to
Has it been 3
Our
minutes
very
already?
own Curie that is singing this.
We love that you
We have 7 or 8 different songs. I think 8. I think 8.
I sing birds, but they should not drink from my bird feeder.
That's mildly threatening.
All right.
Mild.
Yes, Ryland TV. They do sometimes all go off
Yeah,
in a
they-
row.
they do
this
do
is
that.
true.
But we now have taken the step of just reducing the audio and playing through on when that does happen. So thank you for that very, very much. So speaking of the amazing support that you all give, let's talk about how you can support us real briefly before we get into everything. We like to get this out of the way up front. So World Anvil, the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists on the internet today, just made a huge release this week. A bunch of new features. Not that they don't every month, so and even sometimes weekly. So you go to World Anvil to see all the amazing new options that you have over there. And you can sign up for a free account at worldanvil.com and get access to almost everything that you could possibly want to do. And then when you are ready to move on to bigger and better things, you can sign up to be a guild member. I think starting at like $3 a month or something.
Something like that, yeah, it's very close to that.
What was that, Angela? Do you have...
The newest feature that they have, Athena, is only available to guild members right now, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So if you check it out, it's a big organizational structure for your world that you can search in your articles to find content and edit them on the fly. It's very cool. Very, very good for GMs and storytellers wanting to do stuff on the back end.
Very cool. So you go to worldanvil.com and sign up today and light up the forge. Also, we'd like you to check out Die Hard Dice. DieHardDice.com is owned by some very amazing people that are working very, very hard through, especially these times. They make beautiful dice. They do all their own color testing. They design their own dice. They do their own 3D designs. So nobody has dice like these, or if they do, they're not supposed to. So you can't get them anywhere else, or you shouldn't get them anywhere else. Die Hard Dice, just an amazing company. Go check out dieharddice.com, and you can use the coupon code Goonies for 15% off your first or next order, and 15%. And what else am I missing? So if you want to roll with the best, you roll Die Hard Dice. We are nerdsmith.org. You can go to nerdsmith, or we are nerdsmith, so you can go to nerdsmith.org to check out all the amazing shows that we put on. Actually, I'm not sure that all the amazing shows we put on are even on the website right now. I'm thinking there's a couple of new ones. We kind of got the shows rolling before we even had a chance to put them on the website. So a couple of the other shows that we're doing right now I'm very excited about are No Brainer. It's a trivia show we do on Thursday nights. Kind of a geeky sort of all access, all sorts of different topics, trivia. And then we do the other one I'm really, really excited about is Nerdsmith Sings Its Heart Out. Every Friday night we do a karaoke night.
I can't
There's a
believe
bunch
we're
of
gonna
other
have
shows, but There's a bunch of other shows, but that's what I'm really excited about. We have some podcasts as well. You can go check out. Got a Goodness. Heather does one called Geek Thyself, where she talks about it. She and Rusty talk about a new geeky topic every week. Not every week. Every other week.
Every week.
It is every week. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We record a lot.
So it's a half hour or an hour?
Half an hour
Plus,
give or take.
And where you just kind of break down and go over a nerdy topic.
topic.
If you want to know anything and everything about Doctor Who, go check out the Doctor Who episode, and then you can talk to Russell on our Discord, and he'll talk your ear off.
Yes.
So anyway, a lot of other shows, and we got a lot more shows coming. So check that out, nerdsmith.org. If you'd like to support the stream directly, and this stream does support almost the entire network because this is one of our most popular shows, you can donate down below using the tip this show link. It's the top left on the doobly-doo. At least it should be. And if you're on mobile, I have no idea what you do. Maybe we can put a link in the Discord or in the chat thing for you. But $5 will give a re-roll for the players or for the DM. $15 will allow you to spin the wheel of causality. I'll spin it for you since you can't reach it, and because it's right here. You get to inflict pain on one of our players only. Sorry, guys, because I'm too busy to deal with that crap. These are improv-like games that you might see on Who's Line or some other sort of effect that might affect them long term. $25 allows you to introduce an NPC. You give me some information about the NPC. We'll get introduced as quickly as possible, like Jeremy, the amiable astral narwhal, which I still can't say 3 times fast, who's floating around literally nearby, and we'll probably see more of him soon. And then $50 is the DM Ex Machina, which gives DM powers to a player for 30 seconds or so, allows them to affect the game in some significant way, usually during a very important moment. And lastly, bits. If you want to donate bits instead of just a direct donation, down below you see that there is the bits improve the ship's health during the next show. You can see that right now it is set to 0% disaster, which means the next show the players will start with some sort of disaster that has affected their ship. That's never happened. And then minor failure, minor bonus, and then an upgrade. And this week's upgrade you'll hear a little bit about what the captain is talking during their ship's log. Okay, so that's what bits do during the stream. So that's it. That's how you donate. That's how you support us. That's how you help us create shows like this. And now that we've gotten all that out of the way, a little bit longer than I wanted, I'll try to get it faster next time. We started a little bit late, so it probably was about 10 minutes. Good. I think we're good to go if everyone else is.
Yay,
So
roll
do
that beautiful
we
bean
want to
footage.
talk about the channel points?
If you want to goof around with our channel points, you've got some channel points. Check them out. We got some interesting things in there. That's just people who watch us long for a while. You got some extra options to play around with. Peanut is on screen all the time. You can have somebody pass the peanut to another person, where the other person has to pick up Peanut and carry him around instead. And that's that. So there's a couple other things in there you can look at and figure out. Okay. And last thing I want to say is you might want to pay attention if you haven't. If you normally walk away or don't pay attention during our intro video, you might want to pay attention. It's a little different this week as we have updated it. So we will see you all in a few minutes. Well, about a minute and a half.
So excited.
Sailing the stars in search of a harbor. Won't you join our crew? Fly like steady even when it gets heavy. Amidst the chaos, they'll see you through. Detritus disdain hides a gentler refrain to keep our spirits up. And where there's a fight, there's probably Piper. She's tiny, but she's tough. Will find what's hidden inside, discover secrets big and small. And then there's Flora to smile through the horror and wonder of it all. Dermot the bear looks through his vacant stare, but they will fluff you up with their hamster Peanut to help when they're stuck.
We're back. Alrighty. So, I hope you saw the differences. There was just one big difference. I mean, the one major, little difference. Well,
There's
Yeah,
seems to be
just a
some,
small difference.
So Peanut was added. The Will Crossway was very generous to change up our music. Although he knew that going in that I was going to have Peanut need to be added in. It was supposed to happen a little while ago. I apologize. That was the whole world fell apart. Yeah, I'm not going to apologize. And that's that. So let's go ahead and get a small celestial difference. I love it. We're going to go ahead and get started here as we hear the captain's log for the most recent adventure. And I hope I don't screw up any of these words because there's a lot of them. Well, they're big ones. Okay. Captain's log. We've just left the crystal sphere of the Ubanashtu, the insectoid entity and cartographer. The crew said he was willing to negotiate even after they squished, splatted, and exploded several of its children. Mo was instrumental in the negotiations. We get a detailed map of the region and a direction home in exchange for approximately 300 pounds of a rare metal called Ethereum. We're heading directly for the Ethereum sphere and hope to put us on a path home by tomorrow. On a brighter note, it seems that Mo and Niesel have been working to improve our speed capabilities. We can now nearly go twice as fast as we were able to before, cutting all our journey through the Nexus in half. Still nowhere near our theoretical top speeds, but I'll take it. I was tired of the slow and steady approach to spell jamming. So you, the crew, have been prepping for maybe just a few hours. It's not going to take you long to get to the Ethereum sphere. Right after leaving Ubanashtu, and then, yes, of course, exploding some of the children. I would like to know what you're going to be doing to prepare, if anything, what you need to get ready as you approach, and maybe a little bit of information about what it is exactly you remember about the Ethereum, so we can bring that in. Oh, thank you so very much. Was that me? Did I get it reroll? Me? Was that for me? I'm going to guess it was for you guys. It wasn't Matthew doing it, so it's probably for you guys.
Noted. I will add it.
So what do you remember about the Ethereum? And then what are you doing to prepare yourselves for this adventure to this planet?
Go
Go ahead.
Ethereum is a living metal. It is it is what the planet is made of, if I remember correctly. And so we're bargaining for a piece of the living tissue of the planet. We're bargaining with somebody to give us 300 pounds of their flesh.
But they're the size of a planet.
They're the size, yeah. So it's like,
Oh,
So weird, but
we have a toenail clipping. It's
Yeah,
not for
just
anything
soil.
weird.
yeah,
Soylent
an
Green
eyelash.
is Ethereum stuff
dig
going
it.
on.
The
We're-
planet Ethereum played
there's some
It's
creepiness
planet.
to it. We're definitely creeped out by it. I know that much.
it's where if we have to speak to a mannequin named Frank, I'm gonna. Anyway, and their language is the language that Dietrich has been dreaming about and obsessing over as of late. That's what Kyle remembers. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Mm-hmm. Pretty close to what I remembered. The sentient planet or sentient material, and the whole planet's made of that. And that what will probably happen is that they will also ask for some sort of favor, potentially. That it's not necessarily going to be a monetary value to get it from them, or basically, we're doing a deal by doing a deal. and we have to be prepared for a potential like side quest we might have to go to.
One might say it's a delay race.
Oh.
Uh,
We could try to take it by force, but we were kind of under the impression that everything on the planet will attack us if we try to take it by force.
Yep. Which sounds not good.
Yeah, doesn't sound great.
Doing something about going mad by talking to them.
yes.
Oh, that,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Shall we
we
go
are
over
gonna
that?
go cray-cray. I
But-
mean,
What are the circumstances of that? Just to clarify for everybody. It's about actually speaking the language or communicating with it?
So basically, we learned that talking to this creature, and especially in that language, may cause someone to go insane.
Fun.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
The reason Ubanashtu wants it is to build onto their moon base additional like developments
Additional
that
pylons.
yeah
Must construct additional pylons.
Perfect.
Anything we missed, DM?
Just wondering if anybody has
Yeah.
anything they want to do to prepare before we get started.
Well, I mean, more of a general thing, not a specifically like for the planet thing. That Curie, we didn't talk about it before show, but just to clarify now, Curie wanted to work on having a couple of doses of a poison. So she would have kind of wandered over to the mess and kind of glanced around and asked Sue if there was anything spare that she could take a look at. And
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this in DMs. I apologize we didn't get a chance to finish. But yeah, basically, I was saying that to start with, you can start with anything on the list there that is of a reasonable value. You know, I mean, bottom 20-30% of the values on there, but I don't care what it is at this point. Because I kind of approved the whole list of what we talked about in general.
yeah, I looked at it, and basically she's going to look around and see it's either going to be like scorpion or spider or like ed or cap. She's going to like look
Sure.
around. I don't know what those are yet. I'm going to like look and glance, but
Spider caps are basically
try to
little
keep-
spider people, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so
but yeah, so
something
you can-
nasty that Sue has.
Absolutely. And yeah, so Sue probably has quite a lot of some of that somewhere that you could have definitely sometime in the past few little bit turned into a poison with your poison kits that I don't think anybody knows about that you have squirreled away.
I'm sure some people suspect that I might have one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Might have threatened to poison a few people already,
Well,
casually, in a friendly way,
friendly.
not to their face.
Totally friendly. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the bits and stuff. We're out of disaster territory. That's great.
Woo-hoo.
Yay,
So-
thank you.
Do we have at least an hour?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
you got
because I have
probably several hours of this journey.
Oh, great. I have a thing which I've completely neglected to do,
Sure.
which has got me in trouble a little bit. I can do a 1-hour ritual to basically magically bond myself to my weapon so that I can't lose it. Which should have done before
Like
that time.
like
That you were
plumber's tape
very
commercial?
nice.
Just
You were very
slap
nice
on
in
the-
giving me the hammer back. But yeah, so weapon bond, I do a 1-hour ritual to bond myself to my hammer.
Okay.
Weird.
So what's
I like
involved in that
nonsense.
ritual?
Well, there are several books and pieces of parchment sort of very carefully laid out around the weapon, and Lilac will definitely do a lot of, prestidigitation to make the hammer more shiny, and, fill in any, pits with mending, and just really, hone the hammer so that it is in peak performance
All right.
mode.
I love
Also,
it.
there, there's just a lot of making sure that they have aligned it with some candles. It looks a little witchy, kind of what
Alright.
Lilac is doing. If anybody was actually allowed to see this, but they do it in their room, away from everyone,
Sure.
because they're a little embarrassed by the sort of things that they need to do for all their, eldritch knightery.
All right. Sounds great.
Flora would be prepping her spells, figuring out what to change out.
Okay. Is that it? So, Dermot, you were not invited up to the bridge this time around, as this is more of an important mission that they're just trying to get done as quickly as possible. So you feel this kind of turbulence. It's turbulence you're very used to, of spell jamming through these crystal spheres, as you have entered into the sphere that contains the entire solar system of where the planet for the Ethereum is. And is anybody out on deck or around?
Yeah, probably. I would say Piper is
Curiosity,
probably out on
yeah.
it.
All right, so as you guys
Interested to see what it looks like.
as you guys enter this one, this is the first time you've ever entered one of these systems where you immediately see something very strange. And what you see is you see a binary star system. There's actually two suns that are orbiting each other, and several planets, some of them very large, kind of surrounding this system as you are flying past at great speeds. Everything is kind of more microcosm in the Spelljammer world than we're used to, but it's about an hour worth of travel, and you get to the coordinates that you were given by Ubin-Ashtu, and this is where you start to circle around this binary star, looking for the planet and where it might be in its orbit. He could have told you exactly where it was, but he said it would take a long time to calculate, and he just decided to let you get on your way. Everybody give me a perception check.
$11.
16.
21.
12.
14.
8.
Okay. I heard a 21 in there.
That was me.
Flora has advantage. 17.
So, Flora, was there another one over 15?
16.
16. Well, Flora and Curie, you both sort of spot this weird glint out in front of the ship, way off in the distance, although you're traveling much faster than you're used to, and it starts to get closer and closer. And what you're seeing is almost like this little floating ball, this planet, but it is much more. It's more of a shimmer than any planet you've seen before. It's got more of a dark and a light side, and you can actually see one side of it kind of reflects the colors of this binary star off of it. But as you get closer, you start to see, as it gets larger in your field of view, you start to see that it's made out of some sort of metal. It's actually very much like a hematite sort of look, kind of this dark metal, and the rest of you start to see it as it gets much closer in your view, and you notice there's no clouds here, there's no oceans, there's none of the things you've seen on these other planets exist here. It's all just one color, except for, of course, where it's reflecting or where it's dark, and it's smooth as you get closer and closer. You don't see any sort of rifts or valleys. There is some, as you will look at just the horizon, there is some variations, but not the type of hills and mountains that you might expect. You start to orbit the planet, and there's no signs, there's no lights, there's no signs of life that you've seen before. Nothing like that.
We should have used the scry.
Well, you got double your speed instead.
Where are we supposed to land? There's nowhere to put the ship, is there? There's
Uh,
no cities, that's for sure.
I imagine that, if the entire thing is alive, we could sit down really anywhere.
Not
I
at
suppose
all.
that's true.
I imagine it must feel somewhat similar to like a fly landing on you then, comparatively, size-wise.
Let's hope we don't get swapped.
There's that.
Yeah. I would like to knock.
On the planet. Just
Uh-huh.
landing there and going.
I mean, it's better than we did last time.
There's that.
We did knock.
All right, so flying in then it is.
Well, we could take one of the small skiffs.
Be a
Down the
little less
surface.
threatening, perhaps.
Oh,
Small
yeah.
skiffs be able to handle 300 pounds of this stuff?
Well, I think the idea would be we would be a
Envoy.
what's the word for it? Yes, sort of representatives of the ship making the deal, and then when that deal is struck, we could bring the ship. That would perhaps be part of the negotiation.
So
Is it all right if we bring our ship?
I will put a reminder out there because I don't think we've covered a lot of this. The little lifeboats or the little landing boats, the Spelljammer ships only hold as much oxygen around them based on their size, and in wild space there is no source of oxygen. So if you took a landing ship like that, there would only be a few minutes worth of oxygen, and they are nowhere near as fast as this ship. You could probably not make landfall before you ran into a problem, and you're not even sure that this sphere has, but it might.
Then-
So in the Nexus, there's oxygen everywhere, so you can take the ships and do whatever you want, and that's why they work there.
So maybe the captain told us that, and we went.
It's
"Oops,
probably something you guys have been thinking about and been reminded of as you guys have kept exploring. I mean, these are typical things. You don't really use them in wild space unless they're for like repairs or something on the ship, or you need to go rescue somebody who's floating away or something like that.
Well, then we all go in together.
All right. So the
We
captain.
can just be careful and it'll probably be fine, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Oh,
So as the captain kind of turns and looks to you just to kind of get some ideas of what she might decide to do, and you suggest going down, she nods, and right then you hear hollering from the crow's nest. One of the crewmen starts to shout out that there's another ship,
Fuck's sake.
and they point off in the direction of the side off the port. And as everyone kind of turns and looks off in the distance, you see this very large, what one might call a ship. It's made out of this very dark red wood, and it is sort of assembled like two ship tops, but together. Like there's no bottom hull, and there's two crew platforms, but one's underneath and one's on top. Two top decks, and it's got the sails go way off to the sides and way off to the back, and the sails are kind of this sort of deep red as well. Below this ship, well, let's say facing towards the planet, because it's hard to show a below or up, there is a arcane pool of light that is swirling, probably the diameter of the ship or larger, that's kind of swirling halfway between it and the planet.
Lilac just elbows Piper. I've read enough books to know a bad guy ship when I see one.
They might as well have written pirate.
Yeah.
What is that light?
The captain
Does-
just kind of turned and
Understand,
looked
pirates.
at you.
Does the light look similar to what we saw reflected from the binary stars?
No,
Or is
this
it something
this
brighter?
Is kind of a greenish and bluish swirl, but it looks sort of chaotic, but also contained. Does that make sense?
I mean,
It's almost like looking at a storm from above. With there's an eye of the storm.
what kind of person do you have to be to grow up wanting to be a pirate?
Deluded. There's far more effective ways to get this done.
Someone who's
Did
read
you
too
say
many
it's-
fantasy tales, probably.
Clearly.
But with that in mind,
Lilac just looks at the
perhaps-
floor.
Oh no! With that in mind,
At,
perhaps we
at the
make
fantasy
sure
tales in
not
the
to-
comment. Oh, wanting to be.
Perhaps we make sure not to underestimate someone who decides that's the life they choose.
It's true. Well, we also shouldn't assume that they're pirates. I mean, last time we assumed that the Hornets were Hornets and not children. So perhaps it's an envoy from somewhere else in the system.
Maybe they're just ostentatious.
I mean, maybe the light's a gift?
It could just be rattling sabers. Sure.
Well, do we approach the ship or do we approach the world?
I think we let them approach us. They seem to be headed. They're headed in our direction.
They're
Are
not
they like on
moving.
an intercept course? Oh, they're not moving. Got it.
They seem to be hovering over this light.
Maybe it's used for travel.
Maybe.
Or it's a defense and the ship is gonna go away.
Why don't we sit and watch for a bit? See what there
Perhaps
is
we
to
should
see.
ready the guns just in case.
Captain nods and hollers out, and the crew gets to work readying all the weapons on the ship.
Better safe than sorry.
I mean, that's true. Maybe they just want to trade like the kobolds did?
We can hope.
I knew I should have written down some ruffian handling protocols before now.
We handle the ruffians with the hammers.
I don't think our hammers are going to do too much against.
I, for one,
That.
would appreciate the guidelines. Have to know what to bend.
So do we just wait and see what they do?
How long?
I mean, how much air have we got?
The
good
captain let you know you guys have probably a day's worth of air.
Right, so we wait an hour, probably. See if there's anything to see. If not, we start approach.
I will
The
say.
planet or the ship?
Mhm. Fine.
Is there any way to
Hail
Kind
them,
of-
maybe?
contact them? That's. I mean,
If you're asking,
I think
the
I misheard
captain-
you. Did you say kill or hail?
Hail. As in
Hail,
contacting.
that's-
Yes, I didn't say
Way more
kill.
appropriate. Because, yes.
So the captain would say yes by going over there and hailing them.
What, you just lift your hand and go, hey?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you lot. Wait, does Lantern know semaphore?
I would pay to see that.
It's maybe not a
Dang.
terrible idea if we go up and sort of do a show of we're not afraid of you. Except it shouldn't be me because I don't think I can convey that emotion right now.
What's semaphore?
It's
The
Flag.
language with flags.
right.
Does he have a flag?
Oh. He's got a face that looks like one.
Oh.
I mean, we do have nobility on board. We could send Princess Pickle over to be diplomatic.
Can we?
No.
Shoot her out of the
That
cannon.
would be an act of war, Piper. I'm afraid.
I mean, she's out of my hair. I don't particularly. Well, never mind. That's not true.
Do you know a really good spa treatment that requires cucumber? I'm pretty sure the kitty could be a good alternative.
Well,
I keep
pops.
thinking of giving her to Sue.
Well, let's wait until she gives you a reason.
Right.
So Mo pops his head up from under deck. Oh, did somebody say semaphore? And he puts his arms up and he's got semaphore flags down his side.
Oh my god, yes. You are perfection, dear.
Oh, all right, here you go. And he just like tosses a bunch of flags down.
No
luck.
semaphore. No.
Do you speak semaphore?
No, but maybe if you hum a few bars. He laughs and leaves.
Is there a white one? That means peace, right? Or is that
That means I surrender.
Um,
What about this one that has crossbones on it?
Also, not a semaphore flag.
Are you sure? Because the bones are in an X meaning no, and the skull means death, so we don't mean you harm.
Perfect. No death.
Death, no.
I think it's very
We
clear.
won't go.
What do we say to the god of death?
Oh god,
You
we're all
look
gonna die.
fabulous.
But maybe we slowly approach and just, make it
Ship saunter.
right. A casual, not quite a crawl, more of a
Avoid swimming straight on towards them,
Uh,
and just kind of angle, just sort of sidle up to them.
a nonchalant strafing, if you will.
Please
Fly
demonstrate this
casual, is that-
nonchalant strafing.
Casual.
Yes, that was a fly casual.
That,
think-
that is anything but nonchalant.
Right. Well,
Jeremy.
Let's
Yeah.
not.
I was just gonna ask him what if he'd seen the light or the ship before.
Oh, that's fair.
So you're gonna go find Jeremy?
Yeah.
All right. So you find him. He's hanging out in his hammock.
Oh, nice, cozy.
Oh, thank you very much, Jeremy. Curie gave it to me. Not Angela. I don't know who that is.
It's very nice. Hey, have you seen the ship in the light over there?
Yeah, it's right there. Looks great.
Have you ever seen it before?
I don't think so. Maybe. I'd have to get a little closer. You want me to go take a look?
Oh yeah, but you need to saunter. I'm told we're supposed to saunter over. Do that and then come right back.
I don't know what a saunter is. Can you show me?
Oh yeah.
Go on.
And I will limp saunter away.
Okay, what does that look
And-
like?
It's he exaggerates his limp.
Okay.
so he's like
Is
limping
how
and
it looks
throwing
like.
hips outside to side.
So he's doing a John Wayne walk, is what I'm hearing.
All right.
With his hand-
So Jeremy gets up out of his hammock, stretches and moves around, and then starts to his best to imitate Dermot's sort of John Wayne walk as he kind of flies, thrusting his tail back and forth in this sort of weird,
It looks like
awkward
something
way,
from Shark
uh,
Tale.
wearing this horn cozy, standing vertically, flying vertically, but sideways, because then he can see as he kind of moves his way over off the ship. And it takes him about a minute just to reach the edge of your ship, so he's going to be a while.
Damn it, what did you ask him to do?
He's sauntering.
By
And then he's gonna-
himself?
Yeah, he's going to get a closer look.
Dermot, I don't know if you remember or noticed that Jeremy was an object of some interest to the Ubanashtu, and was also of interest to someone else we talked to, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I feel like it'd be sort of like sending over a chicken dinner to someone. I'm not sure he's safe by himself.
Well, we don't know. Maybe they're all constructs, and they don't like chicken. Or Jeremy.
I definitely should have sent over the zucchini.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, he hasn't gone very far. We could probably get him back.
Honestly, if they attack him, then we know they're hostile and we go for it.
Did we want to call Jeremy back? Is it? Or are we letting him go?
I feel bad undermining Dermot. Let's just see what happens.
Oh, fine. All right. Dietrich will lean over the rail and just, call out to Jeremy and
He's right
pat
next to
him
you
on the
still.
back. Yeah, exactly. Pat him on the back and just good luck. friend.
Thank you very much, Dietrich.
Be careful, Jeremy. Just in case.
If something dangerous happens, ignore the saunter and come right back as fast as you can.
But Dermot said I had to saunter.
There,
On the way
but not back.
Saunter over, but you don't have to saunter back.
Oh, okay.
There's no reverse saunter.
It's hard enough to do it forward.
Especially nonchalantly.
I should have made his cozy up chainmail.
I like how he whips his tail back and forth. Back and forth.
Okay.
So, several minutes go by. Jeremy seems to pick up the saunter a little better, starts to make his way over there a little bit better. And he only goes about 2/3 of the way. And you're almost losing sight of him. He's gotten that kind of small against the horizon. And then he, a few minutes later, he comes swimming back, not quickly, but not sauntering. And he comes right back. And he comes over to Dermot. Nope, I've never seen it before.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for looking for us.
Okay.
Did you see over there anything of note?
Oh, there's a bunch of really big guys on that ship.
How big?
How big?
Well, they're like kind of like looks around, bigger than you, but not
Like-
much bigger.
Like
Do
the
they
captain
have-
size, or
Yeah, like about the captain, maybe a little bigger than the captain.
Oh, do they have weapons?
Oh yeah, they've all got all sorts of weapons. They're
They
all
look
different.
like they're getting
every
ready
one of
for
them.
a fight.
Oh no, I don't think they're getting. They just have them with them.
Okay.
much like we do, I suppose.
Alright.
I really
They
like their
seem
teeth.
friendly. Their teeth?
Oh yeah, they got
Oh.
like big teeth that come up from the bottom. 2 of them.
Huh. Well, that sounds familiar, but I don't want to make an assumption. Anything else of note about their appearance? They all look about the same, or they look like they're from the same folk.
They look like a lot of different folk, but they all have kind of this weird red tint to their skin.
All right.
Were there, all right? Were these teeth? Were they coming out from like right here, or from
No, they were coming out from the place where you keep your teeth.
Right. Okay.
But
Just
it wasn't
your
all of them,
tooth comes out.
just a lot of them. But they all seemed like they were the same kind of folk.
All right.
Were they
Like,
fuzzy?
you know, I think Mo said that they were called orcs.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna guess walruses, but that makes more sense.
They're kind of like space walruses, but they don't
Maybe
have
don't say-
mustaches.
Maybe you don't
Well,
say that
some
to-
did.
Watch there be an orc with a mustache on board named Wally.
Oh, well.
There is now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, did you see any of the metal that planet looks like on their ship?
I didn't see any on their ship. No.
All right.
What about on them?
No,
Were they
not
wearing
on
armor?
them either.
I think that it might be worth a trip up there.
I
keep a
think so.
distance.
I think we should see what they need. Perhaps they're looking to trade something.
Sure.
I've known many, many friendly orcs before, so yeah, let's go and.
Yes, we might be able to make a friend or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth a shot. I mean, orcs aren't so bad where we're from.
All right. Let's ring the doorbell.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my hammock now.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And Jeremy goes and lays back down. And what do you do?
Let's go hail a ship.
Captain nods, calls out some commands, and the ship starts to move slowly, but not sauntering or sideways towards the other vessel. As you get closer to the other vessel, you see that there is some writing on the side. Unfortunately, your translator only works on spoken language, so it does not translate whatever it is. It's not in any kind of version of Orc that anybody recognizes, so you're not quite sure what it says there. The ship... Go ahead.
Go ahead and cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
Because it doesn't written language.
Okay. So you cast comprehend languages, and the language on the side of it just says, to the best translation you can come up with, Detritus.
The Junkers.
The ship looks more or less cobbled together. There are different pieces from different ships that have been kind of placed and worked together. The one kind of unifying aspect is this kind of red tint that kind of covers everything.
Anyone else getting Reavers from Firefly vibes from this description, or is it just my own like
100%.
paranoia happening right now?
100%.
I'm getting Pirates of Penzance. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was going for Pirates on the Moon, but all right.
We're whalers on the moon to carry a harpoon. Are there harpoons?
No harpoons. Fuck no harpoons.
And they're not
I fucking hate harpoons.
Alright, so we want to get close enough to hail them.
All right, 1 second.
Who wants to do the talking?
You know, I kind of wonder if that red bit all over the ship, you know, if it comes from the source, or if it's just like, you know, if it's like a paint or a wash.
It's hard to parse what you're saying, Kyle. You want a little garble.
Yeah, you're getting the garbly thing again. So are you, Mike.
Perfect. Right.
And there you go. It's
You were
fixed.
better just then.
We've been having this problem before we started, and it went away, and now it's back. But it's only Kyle and Mike, which we don't understand.
No, because
Well,
Mike and I are on the same internet connection.
Yeah. I'm with Lilac.
Sound fine, right?
I'm not it.
Not it.
I assumed
You're
Right.
good.
you
You're
seem
good right now.
like
I can, yeah, I can make a concerted effort, I'm sure.
they might seem sort of strapping, intimidating type.
When we do go to the planet, I do think that Detritus should be the one to do the talking, because he has the most experience being metal.
The most sound justification if I've ever heard one.
I agree.
Compliments and music. to my
Agreed.
ears.
Dietrich, you said that you think the Junkas like people who pick up salvage ships?
Right, like the name of the ship is roughly like type of flotsam and jetsam you might find cast-offs,
Scavengers.
Detritus, that type, it's not really a direct translation.
Alright.
How's about you talk to them, Dietrich? I'll stay close
I hope that I speak the language.
or that they're multilingual.
Then I hope that I speak one of the languages. Or we could do the data time thing that we did before with Kermit.
True.
It'd work out. Ricky, wherever you are.
Everybody gives a moment of silence for Ensign Ricky, who will be the BBEG of this campaign, coming back to get revenge on us.
All right. So the ship, as again you're getting closer and closer, you see that there are several creatures on the other ships. They are extremely large, almost Goliath-sized, but the majority of them do seem to be some sort of orc. But they do have this red tinted skin, and so do every one of the creatures and folk on board. So you see a couple others that may be some sort of elf, and at least one that you would guess is some sort of halfling or gnome. But again, it's hard to tell because they all seem to have this sort of red tinted skin.
Does it look like it's cosmetic or light or magic? Or that their skin is red?
At this distance, it's a little hard to tell, but give me a perception check.
Is it like a fungus red?
I think that might be my first nat 20 in this
Nice.
game.
Hey!
Yay!
And my perception 41.
So one of the things you notice is that as these people are kind of watching you, they kind of rub and scratch their face and stuff. It's not coming off, and as you get a little bit closer, you're very sure that it's not cosmetic in nature, and you've never seen anything quite like this. That would come from anything arcane. It doesn't glow. There's no kind of magic to it. It's not like prestidigitation or anything. It's not a weak illusion. So your best guess is that yes, it is actually some sort of tint, and it is not it's not like they always say you eat too many carrots, you turn a little orange. It's not like that. It is like blatantly red. It is very like a deep. It's a muted bright red. It's not like it's like deep tones, not burgundy or something, but it definitely looks. I'm gonna not say natural, created, but it is kind of a natural tone. It doesn't look weird on them. You know what I mean? It's not like they're fluorescent red or anything.
Okay.
As you approach, you get to probably easily shouting distance. One of them, a very large version, even compared, you would guess this person technically counts as a large creature. It has these huge tusks that stick up almost to their nose, out of the bottoms of their this huge gaping jaw, very squared chin. He's got his hair, which you're starting to notice that everyone's either bald, a lot of them shaved, but the ones that do have hair, it is also tinted red, but also kind of carries some of the natural colors of whatever it was. So it's a little bit more vibrant red for people who might have been blonde, and it's a little bit more of a brownish, ruddy red for those who might have had darker hair. And he kind of steps up on the edge of the ship without any hesitation or concern, and while it looks very impressive, you also do remember that with spelljamming ships, the gravity exists all over. He could literally walk off the edge of the ship and just walk down the side. Still a little weird to see, but he kind of stands up on the edge of the ship with no kind of concern or anything, and he puts a hand up, even though he's wearing this, again, pieced together sort of these weird furs and leathers of that you've never quite seen before. These are not tinted red. So these do not seem to be carrying that same sort of reddish hue or reddish tint to them, and wearing these large black boots that have these buckles, and the buckles are even different. The different types of buckles they have up their boots. Everything just seems really pieced together on this creature. He's got kind of a mohawk. The sides are completely shaved up, but he's got it kind of tied back. It looks like just a thin, maybe 2-inch strip of hair, and just slight little growth on the sides, which you see also has this kind of reddish tint. So it's obviously the hair, it's not some sort of dye. It seems to be natural in how they're growing. And then he's got this huge sort of mace or maybe axe strapped to his back. It's just pieced together with just like almost the trunk of a small tree is the handle, and then the rest of it seems to be just pieces of different things that are different bits of metal and bone, and it all seems to be kind of just strapped together very expertly with different leather thongs and things. So it looks very primitive but incredibly well fashioned. And he puts his hand up just as kind of a show of peace, maybe. And he sees Dietrich raise his hand first, so he kind of focuses on Dietrich a little bit. And he hollers out, and you can kind of feel that weird sensation of your translator kind of kicking in, and the magic that exists within that. And he says, "Do you understand me?"
Of course, we understand you.
Excellent.
What
can we do for you?
We have business with Ethereum, I suppose you could say. We've been asked to, honesty is the best policy, we've been asked to obtain some of it.
Then you are on the same mission as us.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful.
May I?
Real quick, while you're doing that, I would like perception check from anybody not engaged in the conversation 100%. So not Dietrich, and maybe not Curie if you're about to step in.
Yeah.
18.
18 is good enough.
23.
23 definitely.
8.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is fine. Flora, so you're the only one that's kind of not, maybe you're more engaged in seeing them or kind of watching what's going on. And Lilac, Piper, and Dermot, you notice that this large swirling storm, while in perspective it seemed like it was much farther below from the angle you're coming in, it doesn't seem that far here, but perspective is a tough thing when you're talking about these large celestial bodies. As you kind of look down onto the planet, which at this distance is covering a large percentage of your field of vision, you look through the eye of this storm down onto the planet, and you see every once in a while these little glints at the eye of the storm. And as you kind of follow those glints up, you see little, very tiny droplets of this metal seem to be coming up through the eye of the storm and into the lower part of the ship.
Is that a straw?
Curie, you were going to step in?
Yes, I was going to ask, are you requesting here for Ethereum for your own purposes, or are you here on hire?
Both.
You get a cut then?
I get to live.
That
Yes.
sounds important. Living is good.
We're here to obtain roughly 300 pounds. Not sure if that translates. But the translator takes intent into account. Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, 300 pounds. Yeah, everyone's
do
on the Imperial
conversions?
system. Yeah, everyone's on the Imperial system in space. It's amazing.
Okay. Whatever the fancy version of the Imperial.
Yeah, the fantasy Imperials.
Fantasy Imperial.
It's weird. It's a meta translation. We are translating for whatever it would actually be in game.
It's Kelvin with a C.
It's Calvin Ball is what it is.
Yeah.
It's Kelvin Ball. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the Motrix system.
Nice. Nice.
Careful, because Hobbs will be there.
I knew that was coming.
Uh-huh.
All right. So. So he. So you say 300 pounds. Was there anything else you're gonna say?
We were asked to obtain it. We would be very obliged if you might be able to lend your assistance in obtaining said 300 pounds.
300 pounds is
siphoning.
no small dose. It takes
But it's not a overly large dose either, right? Could be much larger.
about 3 days worth of work. My crew is tired. They wish to go home.
Where is home?
Who are you?
Well, if you must know.
Yeah.
My name is... I am known as Dietrich Reisinger, the lead singer and chief diplomat of Solemnity. It's a band. So,
He can get you an autograph if you want one.
a signed album, perhaps a tunic from our tour back in
Your tour
27
tunic. It's got all the dates on it.
and locations.
This
Embroidered
is
in the
why I
back.
don't drop my title ever.
Because it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
This is helping.
I have no idea. I want to know how they're
I'm not
siphoning
sure.
it, though.
We're travelers looking to fulfill a bargain.
For a
and
gig.
this is-
Yeah, it really is.
If you're ever very lucky, you won't get to play for my regent.
Thank you for the good wishes. So, did you already entreat with the planet for access to the metal?
Oh, you like to speak big, pretty words, don't you?
Did you talk to the planet to get what you're getting?
Why would
Or
we
you
talk
just-
to it? Hello, planet. Thank you for your tasty goodness.
We've been told it's alive, so, we assumed it.
What
you know,
isn't? Do you talk to the cow before you slaughter it?
Well,
Sometimes.
Of course. How else are you going to find out what's the best cut?
I'm sorry, did you say cut or cut out?
Cut, Have you never been to that restaurant where the cow walks up to your table and tells you what its best cut is?
It's speed
you say,
dating. First. That's fucked up.
Thanks, I hate it.
Do not
What is
like.
this, cats? They're all auditioning to die.
It's
Do
the
not
restaurant
want.
at the end of the continent. Don't worry about it.
All I can hear in my head now is Doja Cat's Juicy and Bitch I'm a Cow.
Bitch, I'm a cow.
That's the
Bitch,
one
I'm
you
a
pick
cow.
every time.
Because they're drunk.
So, of course, sorry, we were just. Our mission was pitched to us as go and convince it to let us have some. Was not aware of the alternative option.
And Curie kind of indicates the ship and the
Wait,
straw.
you said cat? Do you eat it?
No. Not
May I?
really.
Use it for your livelihood, though. You said that you're getting this in order to survive, so it's
I assume if
obviously
he doesn't collect, if your regent doesn't collect, you get the brunt of the problem.
Not me. Not really. He might kill some of them, though. And they like to live.
don't we all?
Noble
No.
leadership.
This I don't know if it's a portal or a kind of opening here. Is this part of your ship that you use to siphon the metal up, or is this a naturally
our
occurring
funnel.
phenomenon? Huh.
We
Interesting.
generate it, yes.
Efficient.
It's the only way without sacrificing my men.
So we were told that if we were to go down, that it definitely, and harvest by force, the denizens of the planet would all attack us. So, hence our
There's
being
only
told
one
to try to
thing on that planet.
the planet itself.
Maybe.
thing
I've
that-
never been to the bottom.
Bottom. What? Is it solid?
Is what solid?
To the bottom. Usually, you don't say I've never been to the bottom of a solid object. You
It's
say I've
like
been to
an
the bottom
ocean.
of glass. Perfect.
If you watch for long enough, the horizon, and it kind of like motions, it changes. Like an ocean.
Is it liquid Ethereum?
Ethereum is only liquid.
Ah, missed that detail.
Until it's been treated.
How do you store it? We came woefully unprepared for this mission.
I can see
It's
that.
Respect.
What do you call that little ship of yours?
Cloudbreaker.
Right, that's it.
You have a lot of fancy guns on it. Planning on using them?
Not today, hopefully.
They're purely defensive, precautionary measures when we run into things that are unfriendly to us. We've found a few things have found us.
We've been swallowed once, and we'd rather not repeat the event again. So
Some of us almost twice.
True.
But dealing with friendly folk like yourself, no, we have no intentions.
Can we use the funnel straw?
In exchange for what?
we've got these fancy guns. Would you like a few?
You'd be willing to part with some of them.
Oh, that was jumping to 11.
We'd have to
I
check
don't-
with the captain.
We have to discuss it with the captain. We just, what's your price? We're asking your price, and we can.
What about a private gig with the lead singer of Solemnity? A nice intimate concert might do your crew some good to have a bit of entertainment.
I could play for I could play for you and your men. That might
We
Bit
play
of-
for ourselves.
I imagine a self-reliant captain such as yourself, you're of course dedicated to the entertainment and well-being of your men. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
What sort of things would you want for trade?
It really depends on what you can offer. We don't need
Really should make
much.
an inventory of the things we're willing to trade. We've hit this snag before.
We don't have any more Rickies.
Oh, please, there's plenty of red shirts on this ship.
Alex's gonna take out that clipboard and start writing down. Need to make list of things to trade.
So
Inventory of ship in order of
the
importance.
captain does have a list of some things that can be traded, which he offers to, actually she offers to give you, and
Don't
so she
forget zucchini princess.
so she hands Dietrich the clipboard, the clip pad, and you kind of start reading off some of the items, and he's just, several of the crew just kind of start laughing at a lot of it. The guns are not on that list. The captain did not think that might be a currency, but she's willing to do it. But he kind of just, as you kind of go through things, he just kind of shakes his head and laughs at most of it. And you have nothing of value over there except maybe your ship itself, and I doubt you're willing to trade that.
Kind of need that.
Well, we do have the skiffs, if that's something that
I feel like I heard a story about a boat that didn't have enough life rafts, and I don't think it ended well.
Plenty of life rafts. It just people piloting the life rafts with dicks.
I haven't read that one. Who's the author? No, it's not the time. Sorry.
Cameron James.
If the captain is willing to trade a couple of the guns, I mean, maybe that's better than getting us all killed by whatever's on the planet's surface and still gets us way home.
For non-confrontational extraction.
If it doesn't give us the whole amount, then partial payment is a loan, and who knows if we're ever going to be able to repay. So I'm less inclined to commit to a partial payment on anything.
Friend, did we catch your name? I'm not sure we did.
Drek.
Well, I would like to say, if are there any concerns about actually extracting it from up here? You spoke of potentially it being dangerous for your men if you went to the surface, but is there any concern staying up here?
Occasionally.
Well, it seems
it
to
is
me
a dangerous business, and we are mostly helpless as we are anchored here.
Well, perhaps we could engage in a bit of a trade of cooperation that we could work together and we could maybe watch your six while you're working, and if something comes up from the surface, we could help with that, and you could do the same for us while we were extracting what we needed.
We don't need your help.
Just an offer, dear. All right.
So, morbid curiosity. You said that you would have to pay with some of your crew's lives. What happens in worst case scenario? You're down on the surface, and if you have to go deeper.
If you go to the bottom, you're dead.
Just outright lights
Nobody
off.
has ever touched the Ethereum Sea and lived.
Where does the Ethereum Sea start? Is that at the core, down at the bottom? Is it as soon as you touch it, it's just done?
Literally everywhere. You may be able to land your ship on it. It doesn't seem to care. But once your flesh touches, you're dead.
Are we talking just dead, or are we talking like disintegration dead? There's lots of definitions of dead. I'm curious the manner.
You all ask a lot of questions.
Very curious people.
We didn't do the research before, so we're asking now.
Curie is trying to flirt.
It will pull. It pulls you under. It will literally grab you. No amount of strength will stop it.
Yeah.
Like bees into lava.
That
Curie
doesn't
looks at
sound
Piper
very-
like, that's very specific. I'm concerned.
Saying
you
on
let-
my. It's, no. It's
Ah.
just a saying in my kingdom.
And I'm concerned the children of your kingdom have leveled up from magnifying glasses and ants.
Not something we participate in. It's just it doesn't know where it's come from.
Most things have a reason.
He kind of points off to the side of the ship. The only thing you can think of off the top of your head that's in that direction is Jeremy. Is that for trade?
Sadly, no. It's
What specifically are you referring to?
Your narwhal.
Is not our now. He's his own. He just happens to be along for the ride.
So he'll speak for himself then. And he gets his really big grin.
I've heard this a couple of times. I'm actually curious if you wouldn't mind. What is so valuable about these narwhals? We've heard tell of them a bit now, but no one seems to offer a straight answer. Do they grant wishes or something?
You really don't know.
We're new in town, dear.
Well, something that one person knows and another doesn't has value.
Don't I know it?
That's what she does for a living.
I can tell.
He can ask for whatever price he wants if we're not sure what it is he's getting.
So if he doesn't belong to you, then he can speak for himself.
By all means.
Excellent. He doesn't do anything or move, or he just stands there.
I'll go fetch him.
I wasn't about to.
I'll be back. I'll ask, as he can speak for himself, he also has the right of refusal to speak. So, I'll go see what he says.
He just watches you.
Curie saunters off with her cane and
Okay.
keeping her limp at a moderately normal level. Go to find Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy's sitting over his hammock.
Jeremy, dear.
Oh, yes?
There are some very shady gentlemen looking to speak with you.
Are they umbrellas?
No, they cast shade of a legal kind.
I don't know what that means.
There's a couple of pirates over there that seem like they want to take you with them, and they want to see if they can trick you into agreeing to go with them. So I want you to be very careful when you tell me no, you don't want to speak to them.
What?
Do you want to speak with some very bad people?
No, I don't want to speak with bad people.
Very well, you just stay here and you have a wonderful rest of your nap, and Curie will walk back.
Okay. And he lays down.
When Curie gets into view, I'm afraid he's terribly comfortable right now, and has decided that he is not terribly interested in being part of this negotiation. So I'm afraid he is off the table. I'm so sorry, dear.
Then you have nothing to trade.
Well, you ever spoken with Ethereum?
Have you ever spoken with a cow? Well, we already know the answer. You said yes.
A reasonable percentage of us have.
The trick is getting him to stop talking.
Which seems idiotic at best.
I mean, the bullet
So,
won't
no,
just-
I've never tried to speak with. And he just kind of motions down towards the planet.
Has anyone?
And he said, no one's ever survived.
No one's ever survived touching it. No one's ever survived communicating.
Do we need to take our chances with the talking?
At least we
Well,
know what we're
would
getting
you-
ourselves into.
Would you begrudge us heading down there? I mean, worst case scenario, we don't come back and you don't have to worry about us anymore.
As long as you don't interrupt me or my business, I don't care what you do. Get
We'll
yourselves
do our
killed.
we'll do our level best not to do either of those things.
Be mindful of the storm. Don't go under it.
What happens if we do?
You and your ship will be turned to... And he kind of just points down to the little droplets that are floating up into the ship.
That's handy.
Then we'll have something valuable to trade you in the end anyway.
You may have one other thing. You see, we don't have an arcane translator aboard. That's why I asked if you could understand me. Obviously, you do.
What? We have an arcane translator. Would that get us all £300?
I'm not interested in the translator.
Hmm.
Does it run on red, green, or blue?
Green.
How much do you have?
I mean, we've had more than we have currently.
That statement is true. You have a few ounces left. There was not much. You didn't need a lot.
You know, a bit. Not much, but a bit.
Too bad.
Not £300.
Oh, it's much more valuable than that.
All right.
You really aren't from around here, are you?
You haven't been listening.
No,
I'm a tourist.
People just tend to lie.
We're out of town. Very, very out of town. Especially if you haven't heard of Solemnity. We're clearly not from the same region.
From the deep south.
Also, we gotta pop goes the peanut.
Oh god. And Lilac once again has peanut. Wow. That's amazing.
Look,
That has been mentioned.
Y'all-
I think they're waiting.
Picking on.
Lilac, roll percentile. Now's a good time as any.
Dietrich, would it hurt to give them a small bit? We have several ounces. What if we offered them 1 ounce? If it's as
Yeah.
valuable as they say it is.
We don't know how much we're gonna need though.
But we also know that Dermot
83.
can speak to people, and so can Dietrich. We don't necessarily need it as badly as maybe they might need.
let's say need and want are very different things.
I agree.
I would start smaller than half of what we have. I would start smaller and then work your way up.
That also works. I'm just offering solutions
Damn it.
because
You understand haggling. I'm very
Well,
impressed.
this is
He does
appropriate for
okay
a
with
peanut
it.
pop.
How
Depending
about I
on what
offer him a
you're
date
haggling for.
tomorrow at the
Oh,
mall?
Lilac, what did you roll?
I got an 83.
83. I think that number's come up. We might be done with that.
That's a number between 1 and 100.
Um,
I don't know why I do.
As Peanut starts to have one of his little sneezing fits, you start to recognize these. Damn it! All of a sudden, he sneezes, and just a little bit of like these little tiny black fabric ends come out of his mouth and just kind of stick there for a second, and then he sneezes again, and a little bit more comes out, and it's some sort of knitted thing, and over the next several sneezes, out comes a 6-foot scarf, black.
Can I tell what kind of stitch it is?
with embroidered on it is the initials JJ. And so everybody goes silent. The entire crew stops on both ships, turn and watch Peanut and of course Lilac as they watch this tiny hamster sneeze up a 6-foot scarf.
Oh, look, we have something new to trade.
I like you're getting so good at that magic act.
Yes, you know, I got bored waiting while this negotiation was happening. So I thought I would practice. Want a scarf? I guess a scarf.
Kiri's gonna go grab it and take a look at it and check the quality of the stitching.
It's really well stitched.
That's a really interesting way to do the trade.
Is that for trade? And he's
absolutely
definitely pointing at Lilac and the hamster.
No, they're part of our crew. I'm sorry, Lilac's first mate. We can't really trade our highest officer position. You understand?
I meant the hamster.
No.
You know how a...
No.
Maybe you don't. You know how a spelljammer has to navigate, right?
They're in
Kinda
short
need
supply
it.
around here.
Well, that little one is our engine, so can't really part with that.
About half the crew on the ship starts to laugh. I'm sorry, that is what you're running your ship on?
Oh, you won't laugh if you have him around for a few minutes. He is quite a handful. We should really just... It is our burden to bear, friend. I'm sorry. We're doing you a favor.
I'm trying to be reasonable here, but you've got nothing to offer. Or you're not willing to trade any of it.
We really should get a hold of some things we're willing to part with.
You know what? Do you have any means of containing him?
Containing him in what way?
Like, keeping him comfortable. Making sure he doesn't scupper off. And, he's a growing boy. He needs his...
Like you're getting so good at that magic trick.
He needs his accommodations.
I really have no idea what you're trying to say to me.
Wonderful. He's available for trade.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think
missed
he
what you
liked you saying that.
I said, wonderful, then he's available for trade.
What are you doing?
All right.
Detritus.
Have you ever tried getting out?
All right. I'll trade you 500 pounds.
$6.
Done. I'll have my crew get it ready.
Right.
And 3 of the crew members just run off immediately.
So glad we could come to an agreement.
We'll also need some time to prepare to get him ready for transport.
He has his toys and his food and things like
Yeah,
that.
fine.
The shavings we
Take your
keep in the.
time.
Yeah.
I'll be going with him, though.
Well, you can help us pack, Dermot, and then we'll talk.
Let's come on.
He
everyone.
turns and steps off the ledge and goes back to his ship and starts getting preparations ready. So he.
Thank you so much, Drake. Wonderful to meet you.
Have you gone mad?
Dietrich.
What?
when
I
he
don't do this
pops
very
back-
often, but what the actual fuck?
Dietrich, when
Oh.
he pops back, they're going to come after us.
Well, no. They're paralyzed right now. We can do this downstairs, right? We can. Right.
I assume you guys are someplace safe.
You're walking, yeah, we're
Good
we're
God.
on deck.
What are you
I'm
doing?
all- I'm all for a
Two
double
two
crossbow.
things. Have you ever tried keeping Peanut anywhere that you wanted him to be?
Right.
Ever?
He's right there.
Do you
I'm on-
comprehend what is happening here? She's saying
I
this in
understand the
Celestial to
words
him.
that are coming out of our mouths.
I that's not the. I think, you know, even though I'm not particularly. I think we're picking up what you're trying to do here, but
It's about the fallout after.
right, like that's really dishonest.
Oh,
Not
no,
dishonest.
that's not the problem. The problem is they're going to kill us.
If
I
it's
agree with
if-
Curie right now.
okay, right. So yeah,
Wow.
if we trade, if we trade him over,
Uh-huh.
right, and then he comes back of his own volition. He just happens to. He's back aboard. Oh, where did he go?
That still results in them coming after us.
You know,
Who knows what other sort of fun toys they have besides that funnel? What if they
I
turn
was
on
trying
us
to
and get sucked back? I mean,
I was trying to figure out if they had a way to keep him contained.
I understand the fine print you're trying to craft here, but the technically we didn't break our bargain angle might be lost on them.
There's no technicality of it. We literally didn't break our contract. We trade you the peanut for £600 of this material. End of bargain.
It's a lie of omission, which I normally respect the hell out of, but
Listen, I've dealt with riders for most of my professional career.
6
I'd
pounds of
also like
green
to point out
M&Ms.
that we don't know anything about the region that he talked about working for. We're not just
Stealing-
double crossing the ship.
Oh
We're
my,
double crossing an entire ruler somewhere that we've never met and don't know what they can do.
Who they're
I mean,
afraid
usually
of.
I try to look on the bright side, but I'm not sure I like this plan, Dietrich.
You deal with that in like 5 levels. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just giving Logan plot devices. It's fine.
Lilac is actually going to turn on their heel and just kind of like actively stomp their feet, which is weird.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but you realize that this makes us the pirates.
they're just double crossing the pirates. Yeah.
Yeah. And
If you
we
pirate
can't
the
do
pirate-
anything.
Pirates.
And you're supposed to start with, as first mate, I have to object.
Please.
As first mate, I have to object to piracy. Yes, indeed. You yes, did. I that doesn't make me feel comfortable. I'm not the first mate. That's
So-
not true.
That doesn't ring right.
All right. So we'd be privateers, but we wouldn't be ruffians.
I'd rather just go talk to the planet.
All right. Double cross the group that might come after us and their regent might decide to put a bounty on us or something, or risk Dietrich's very sanity in order to even get I don't know, a conversation with a thing we might not even be able to speak with. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of a fan of Dietrich's brain. I don't know if I want it scrambled.
I know. I don't like that plan either. I don't like either plan.
Well, at
I'm not
least we
used
can
to this.
handle the living rather than the whatever that is.
There's got to be a third plan.
Go
Third
without.
plan is go without and yeah.
Sorry. We're of the same mind.
It occasionally happens, you and I agree. Okay, more than occasionally. We actually get along fairly well.
Don't tell anyone.
I know. It's a secret.
So, I guess the question is...
I'm sorry. But
It
I
was
was...
decent impulse, but it just was, impulsive. What do we want to do? I mean, at this point, you have to do a bit of a cost-benefit analysis. What's worth more? Shortening the trip or not putting ourselves in danger? I mean, that's sort of what we're in for, isn't it? We're going to make deals that are going to be a little questionable or...
There's also the fact that we technically made a deal with them already, so they're gonna get mad if we do a take-backsies?
Yeah. I'm inclined
yeah.
to go through with the plan and just hope it works.
How fast are we?
Not
They
fast
did
enough.
increase our speed.
Jeremy,
Mm-hmm. I don't like
you
it.
make things... You know?
Hold on, one more time. Go ahead. No.
You can make things look like other things, right?
Yeah, I can. But not other things look like things, but just imaginary things from nothing.
So, what if we were to, make Peanut fall asleep and then hand Peanut over to our temporary allies?
So he stays put for a little while, and then he pops out when he wakes up.
Saying that you could turn one of the butterflies into Peanut.
Oh, the poor butterflies again. They're
Those things are
protected.
large, remember?
Well, we just explained he's a giant space hamster. He had his puberty growth spurt all of a sudden.
Out of ideas.
I guess the question is, if we hand him over, is there any way to politely ask him to wait a few moments before coming back? Because I'm not sure he won't just pop right back when he wants to, which will be immediately.
He is listening to the conversation.
Yes, if we let Jeremy speak for himself, we could let Peanut speak for himself regarding the plan.
Can he understand us well enough to make a decision?
I can talk
I
to
think
him.
he's smart, but he's still a baby.
That's an easel.
Did you get that, Buds?
Yeah.
That's...
The same in Celestial too.
Celestial, I didn't catch any.
Can we do a binary thing? Where yes, once for no, twice for yes. Maybe a blinking system.
Wait.
No.
Is it just no to the blinking?
No.
We could have
No,
him wave his
communicating with the hamsters. It's a
paws,
baby.
maybe. Like, yeah.
It's not
That's
capable
what I just said.
of coordinating a caper with us.
I mean, the problem isn't that he's not smart. He is for what he is, but he's still a baby. I mean, baby animals mature faster than we do, but he's still not going to necessarily understand exactly what's happening right now, even if he kind of understands it a little bit.
So we just leave.
I'm not comfortable trading a
at
baby.
surface right now.
Those times where decision paralysis is going to be more of a detriment than not.
We need to make a
Also,
decision
where's
and
the
move.
captain in this?
The captain has given us free rein to make all decisions on these kind of things. We need to make a decision and go. Either we leave and go to the planet's surface right now and forget the deal, or we go through with it and put up a fight when it comes to it. Or we just leave and say forget it.
I will not start outright lying now. Lies of omission, sure, but if Peanut is not on the table, we can't confirm whether or not he would want to be on the table, or if he understands what subterfuge is.
He rarely likes being on tables.
It's one person versus the rest of the crew making it home.
It doesn't make it a good decision, though. I'm not saying it's a good option.
As with most
I don't
things in
even
life, there are no good decisions. Just there's not even optimal decisions. Just the one you're willing to make.
Well, and to be fair, we only have that one guy's information saying that you go crazy if you talk to it. I mean, think about how many things he left out. We didn't know it was a liquid. We didn't know how we were going to get it. We didn't know that people couldn't touch down on the planet without being sucked into it.
Like, we
he
can
left out a
touch
lot
down,
of
we just
information.
can't physically touch.
Well, that's what I meant. But he left out a lot of information.
Wait, what?
And maybe he doesn't know as much as he
Flora,
thought he did.
hold up. What, Dietrich?
I have been dreaming the language of Therian.
So what?
When?
Oh, yeah, he is metal. That's it. It's more proof.
So if Peanut is off the table, it's potentially the life of one crew member to get the rest of you home. It's an easy trade.
Potentially not. Yeah, it's an advantage I'm not sure anyone has.
What?
Advantage, I don't know if it is, but
I'm just saying that if it comes down to it, I'll talk to it.
I hate to say it, but there's too many variables with the other options. Dietrich, how long has this been going on? Since we found out about Etheria?
A bit before.
Oh, like a song in your head?
Yeah, like a song in my head.
Did you rewrite it?
Not yet.
Carrie gets the distinct impression that there's a conversation here that she missed. Fucking bards.
The captain hollers down to you. They're ready.
Teacher, for what it's worth, I trust you. Whatever you think is best.
Captain, please take us down to the surface.
Apologize to them. Perhaps.
Oh, I'll wave the sorry flag. It has like a little meeple on it.
I was waiting. It's
So
got a little popped up.
the captain pauses for a second and looks at you, Dietrich. So I'm telling them the deal's off. And we're leaving.
Tell him that Peanut's a child and he can't make the decision for himself. I'll tell him. With my deal, I'll go and I'll tell him. I'm not gonna hide.
I can handle it.
Nothing was exchanged yet.
Their efforts.
I feel like all right. So yes, I was, dare I say, cranky that you made a decision for everyone, but then just kind of now I feel like I made a decision for everyone to go against you, and that was also wrong. So I don't enjoy these feelings right now that we're having, that I'm having. Somebody else talk.
Dietrich, you have a greater edge on this than I think anyone that man has ever known could possibly have.
Oh,
anyone had a chance
stall
to do-
them. And she leaves.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure there's much of a decision other than everyone feels bad about making it. I, for one, think you're a bit of a badass and can handle yourself. And it's
I'm
probably...
that, but I don't know about the second part.
You look like one. That's half the battle.
You hear
Even
from...
though Lilac is having kind of like a moment right now, there's a little bit of a smirk, and they kind of look over to either Piper or Flora to see if anybody else is picking up on this, to see if they can exchange a knowing glance.
Yep.
Who's got knowing eyes? Who has them?
Piper is like intensely focused on Peanut right now.
Ah, baby, ain't no one better done.
Yeah.
You
Flora would notice. Perception is high.
You hear from upstairs the captain. The ancient ritual of the pre-trade donut.
Oh God. Okay, Dietrich, go rescue her. Let's get down to the planet and give this a try.
Piper,
Worst comes to worst, if this doesn't work, we can always try plan B on the way back up. If you can't talk to it, we leave without dying and we attempt trade Peanut.
We'll take some of the pillows from the other rooms. We'll pad your room very comfortably. It'll be wonderful.
You still have some butterflies.
No.
you're just keeping me company and not damaging me. Anyway, Lilac,
Have to smile from crying, don't you?
A little bit.
When you call out Lilac's name, Lilac is in the middle of kind of really trying to surreptitiously gesture to Flora, like pointing just slightly between Curie and Dietrich and kind of like raising eyebrows.
he's like
Yes, what?
1,000-yard stare. Like he's not paying attention to much right now.
He was thinking about, mortality and just a little thing.
He does that every morning before coffee.
Look, Lilac can care a great deal about morality, but also shipping.
Uh-huh.
Location. Lilac, don't.
Yes.
Don't feel like you have to apologize for voicing your opinion if you're in opposition. It's often the smallest voice, that bears the most weight when it is in direct opposition to the majority.
You outrank us.
And you do outrank us.
I really should talk to Captain Packett about that.
Right. Let's move.
Back
All
up
right.
to the negotiating room, which is the deck.
Right behind you, dear. Go on.
So you guys are heading up?
Yes.
So Captain Packer is sitting there with a cardboard box full of donuts, and is got about half of them fed to different members of their crew, and looks at you with that, oh thank God, kind of.
How most people, when they bring donuts to a break room, it's just a madhouse.
Yeah.
God damn it! Who ate the powder?
And kind of puts the box down and steps away as the as Drek turns, has not taken a donut, turns and looks at you, Dietrich. Behind him are 6 large tubes. They're not real barrels. They're about half the size of a barrel in girth and height. They're like a small cask, but they're made out of iron. It looks like they have some sort of very almost like a locking top. Incredibly well crafted.
So the lad is a baby, and
before you start speaking, he just reaches back and he grabs one of these containers and he lifts it, one hand deadlifts, and he just slams it down at your feet, stepping onto your ship.
we can give you the fluid from the translator, but peanut's not on the table.
He's kind of like glares down at you for a moment. And then he picks up the canister. And he turns to head back to his ship.
No harm, no foul.
And then he turns and hits you with it. Roll initiative.
Bonk.
Oh boy.
Oh, Piper is not happy with that.
Same.
16.
12.
20.
Just looking for the top, Flora.
4.
20 sounds like the top so far. Dietrich? 5. Okay, and I am getting a surprise round.
Yeah, you are.
Honestly, was anybody expecting it? Didn't look like anybody was. Nobody said anything, so.
I was worried, but I wasn't expecting it like that.
The difference is, like, were the players expecting it? Yeah, maybe. Were the characters? Yeah, probably not.
Okay, Kyle, that is a 23 to hit.
Oddly enough, no. That's a specific number. That's the miss number.
Right, that one number is the only number that misses. 12 points of bludgeoning damage. As he drops drops the canister after hitting you with it and draws his weapon, and the crew all start to draw their weapons. And it's your turn. Flora, you start us off.
Okay. I'm looking up the stats on one of my spells real quick, sorry. Okay, well, no, she's pissed. Moonbeam directly over him.
Shit.
She's not happy with what he just did.
What's my save?
So, it is a con save DC 13.
Well, I rolled a 17, so more.
Okay, so you take half damage.
All right. As this pool of light opens up above him, this moonlight comes down and does what exactly? Burns him with radiant, or?
It's radiant damage.
Got it.
It is going to be 13 points of radiant damage. So 13 halves, so 6. And if he stays there, then he has to keep doing that on every turn, making a save to not take full damage.
Okay. How much was the total? Sorry.
13 total, so it'd be 6 damage.
6 damage. Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he kind of burns him a little bit. He doesn't seem to really care or notice, but you see that the burning starts to kind of lift. You see smoke coming off his skin a little bit as the combat starts.
Okay.
Popcorn.
That's right, popcorn. Dietrich.
Dietrich. You just got slapped in the face with a 100-pound canister.
Yeah, his like he spits out a tooth. It's
Weirdly not one of his own.
yeah.
I was chewing my chiclets.
Oh god, my cyanide caps.
I don't have that much gum left.
How high above the storm? Like, are we? Is it like way down there?
It's
or is
hard
it,
to
like-
tell exactly how high you are up. And remember, gravity goes toward the ships, so you would have to get somebody half the ship's length away from the ship before they'll start falling. So you'd have to get them a pretty darn far way away. You're talking, actually, sorry, it's a whole length ship away from the ship. So you have to get 200 and some odd feet away before they're going to start falling away from the ship.
It's okay. Cool. Curious about this. It's the spell that I'd like to cast says a point of your choice within range. Is that a point within sight that I can see, or is it just I
What's
want it
the range?
up there, 60 feet?
So no, it's not. It's within 60 feet.
But is it line of sight?
It is line of
the-
sight, technically.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Cool. I just making sure.
Yeah.
But
So is a mountain that's over the next village. So I mean, it's
Right.
technically it's like that, kind of within line of sight.
So what Dietrich is going to do is going to smack Piper on the shoulder and it's like I've had him using Bardic Inspiration.
You cut out completely, Kyle. We can't hear anything now.
And then we walk over the edge of the ship.
Okay.
Okay. Until he can see where the pieces of Ethereum are entering the hull of the other ship.
Well, remember, there's another ship on the other side. I mean, there's another deck. There's more crew underneath. So, but you do see where it's going into kind of the center of that side of the ship as you walk down on the bottom of your ship.
What I'd like to try to do is, he pulls that weird pipe-looking thing out of his pocket and he starts to play this he hasn't quite figured out how to play it yet, but he knows what the highest note is, and he begins to play the highest possible note on this instrument that begins to get louder and louder and more shrill, and he casts Shatter on the portion that he wants to cast it in that area of the ship.
Okay, great, sure, yeah, okay. So go. What do I? Is it a save for the ship? Is there any save for any shave? Huh? Is there any save for unattended objects? I don't think so.
No, it's
Okay.
well a creature
so
made
how
of
much damage?
organic material such as
And are you trying to damage creatures or just the ship?
ship.
Okay, go ahead and roll me the damage. And it is to objects, so I think it's more damage because it's to objects. Or is it only crystalline objects?
Inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has a disadvantage on the saving throw, but that's for creatures. It's just non-magical objects that aren't being worn or carried takes the damage.
Yeah. Okay. Give me the
So
damage.
it's just straight up. Uh, 16 points of is it thunder? Yeah, thunder damage.
Okay. So as the shatter, and it's a 10-foot radius or 5-foot radius.
A 10-foot radius.
So as the shatter hits that portion of the ship, you see the wood splinter and crack, and all of this sort of dark metal ooze kind of shatters away from that portion of the ship, and all these little droplets go scattering out over that side of the deck of the ship, of the underside of the ship. And the roll me percentile.
46.
46.
46.
Okay.
4 or 6.
And you see the droplets that are coming up kind of just start to hang in the air. These few little trail of droplets goes off into your away from your vision, and they're just kind of hanging in the air. It looks like they might slowly still be coming towards the ship, but they're still just kind of hanging there. But you obviously did some very serious damage.
And we'll go ahead and hop to Piper.
Okay, is their ship within, like, he just stepped back onto their ship. Okay, so Piper is going to, just with the little bit of inspiration that Detritus did, this wolfish grin just kind of spreads across her face. And she hands Peanut to Flora really quickly. I'm waiting for Flora to respond with the pass the peanut. Okay, awesome. I hadn't seen.
Okay.
Sorry. And yeets herself onto the other ship, casting Wrathful Smite as a bonus action as she launches herself towards him, hammer drawn, and comes down.
He's still on your ship.
Oh, I thought you said he stepped back onto the ship.
He turned to step back and then cold cocked or
okay.
sucker
Well, then she just
Dietrich.
Oh, the other ship. Shit.
Yeah.
She launches herself at him, a hammer drawn, and just brings it down on his head.
All right. As Dietrich is slipping down underneath while you're leaping up over above, we'll kind of say that's why he didn't get an attack of opportunity on Dietrich.
Okay. And 23 to hit.
23 hits.
Points of bludgeoning damage as she connects with his face. 17.
Okay.
3 points of psychic damage from her Wrathful Smite, and I need a wisdom save.
Okay, wisdom save. 17 plus 3, 20.
Oh, hang on 1 second. And then also 3 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
But unfortunately, he is not afraid of her because he made the wisdom save.
Okay. So as you hit him and this psychic damage, where does the psychic damage come from?
My Wrathful Smite.
Okay. As your Wrathful Smite hits him, you hear this very discordant noise in your head. This really horrible sort of twisted noise. And you can tell that he seems to hear it too. You take 3 psychic damage as well. He took 6 though, just to let you know.
He kind of shakes her
This is going to be Dermot's fight.
Curie.
All right. Curie pulls out her crossbow, and Logan, since Curie made the poisons, is that okay for her to have preemptively, like,
yeah, that's fine.
what are you gonna do? What's she gonna do with poison other than put it on something?
Yeah.
Okay, so she just pulls out her crossbow, centers it on that on the captain and on the captain of the other ship, and fires it on him. Just want to be clear.
Back of the head, thump, dead.
Lilac, maybe I'm the captain now. No. All right, so that is a 22 to hit. And then I need... Shit, I didn't do the thing. Damn it.
Which thing?
I literally said to myself before combat that I needed to do my bonus action first, and I didn't. All right, so 22 to hit. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point.
22 hits.
I need a con save of 11.
He's a bitty boy.
10.
Okay. He takes 1d8 poison damage. That's 6. And 10 piercing damage. And he is poisoned for 1 minute.
Nice.
So yeah, she rounds that off. And then as he's ow, I'm poisoned, I'm going to use my belated insightful fighting and try to sort of get a beat on him a little more while he's, you learn a lot about someone when you injure them and you see how they react to pain. So we'll just say that's what she was doing.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's a roll for his deception versus my insight. It's a 22 from me.
No way. Yeah, no way I'm going to beat that.
So I will have advantage on subsequent attacks I make on him because I'm a dummy. I have it taped to my monitor to do it first.
Is it for the rest of the combat?
That is it. It is for, I believe, a minute.
Oh, okay, cool.
So essentially,
okay.
It says you have advantage on the attack. Or no, sorry. This is I can use my sneak attack even if I don't have advantage.
So for how long?
For 1 minute or until I choose a different target.
Okay. Choose a different target with that power, or choose a different target to attack.
Choose a different target, like attack a different person with that insightful fighting ability.
All right.
So has he gone yet?
He's at the end of the round. He started, so he'll go at the end. It's fine. Okay. We're getting rid of this. You needed to choose the bad guy. We're just going to go back and forth. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. Unless the combat needs dramatic emphasis to mix people in.
Then I'm going to popcorn lilac.
Okay. At this juncture, he doesn't look too messed up, right?
No, he barely looks hurt at all. And the poison, I mean, his deception against all of that was a 14. So he may not be hiding the poison incredibly well, but he's not.
How completely inundated by my compatriots is he? Like, is he
the only one adjacent to him?
Okay, that's what. Okay. Then Lilac is going to, have sat there and kind of done like that split-second assessing of the situation, grip their hammer, sigh, and instead kind of reach somewhere within themselves, mutter a couple words, and cast Witch Bolt.
All right.
Nice. It'll be the first time that I'm doing that, so let's see.
Nice.
Range spell attack on this crackle of witchy lightning energy. And that's a 16.
16 does not hit.
It's okay. If it hits, then it did. If it doesn't, that's all I got then. So Lilac, kind of closes their eyes and tries to cast this, and it kind of goes a little haywire. And then Lilac mentally freaks out and looks at Flora.
That was great.
Damn.
I think Flora's the only one that hasn't gone, right?
Dermot hasn't gone either.
I started.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Then Dermot, it's just kidding.
I like the magic. Hey, Lilac, here's some inspiration for next time. Lilac, the hobbitling halfling, fighting for their future as well as for their friends. Hammer at the ready, they're short but steady. But wait, surprises galore. There's magic mixed in for the win.
That was beautiful.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm gonna shift gears a little bit, and I'm gonna look at the captain of the other ship.
Okay.
That's been stated. Yeah.
Fuck
And
him up.
I'm gonna cast dissonant whispers, and say,
Just repeat the poem.
Can't hear you.
"Come gather around and listen to this dying sound. Grown from nightmares and fed to lost desires. Outside it will consume you. Inside it will become you. Come gather around and listen to the death of a sound."
Good night, everyone.
So
I sleep
Dietrich
next to
doesn't
that.
know. Dietrich doesn't know how metal Dermot can get.
Apparently.
Wow.
Good lord.
So that is that does I need a wisdom save.
Yeah.
14.
A
Okay.
disadvantage. Jesus criminy.
13.
All right. It takes 15 psychic damage, and it needs they need to run away.
Okay. Well, they
Ah.
are actually immune to fear if it's fear only. It's a fear based.
Let me look it up. It says it must use their
If it just says
reaction if available
to move away,
to move as
that's
far.
fine.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't say anything about fear.
No, they're not being feared. That's totally completely different. It is.
Yeah, it's part
it
of the
is-
spell.
It is something they're afraid of, but it's not the status fear. So, Dermot, as this happens, you hear in your mind this just beautiful music. You hear this sort of just pleasant, gentle, happy sort of sounds, like little fairy light dances, and it just brings up these beautiful visions of just happiness for you. You don't take any damage.
Oh.
And the captain turns and moves very quickly back to his own ship. And he's barking.
I
at
don't get an
orders as
attack
he
of op,
goes.
do I?
No, because he's being forced to move by someone else's ability.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so
So I think we all want to fuck off after that one.
but he's like grabbing onto his head and kind of covering an ear as he like screams and barks orders, and he's hollering at his men to stop the funnel. And,
Yeah,
stop the
every
funnel.
night.
Stop the funnel.
Every
We're
night.
leaving.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Uh,
Oh, that's me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was his turn.
So while most of his crew were getting prepared to start running over the edges of the ship to come over onto your ship, as the captain starts to bark that, having dealt with everything that you've all just thrown at him, they stop and they kind of turn and look at him for a second. Like, this is not something he normally says, but then they get right to work. Dietrich, you see the people underneath as you're the one that can. They're starting to shut things down. You see them scrambling down past the broken debris that you've left there to try to get to whatever's down there to turn off this arcane ritual that they've got going on. And a couple of the crew pull out, have crossbows pulled out, and they still have them trained on the rest of you, but they don't seem to be acting. They seem to be readying, though. A lot of the crew seem to be readying to take action if hostilities continue, maybe. But yeah, at this point, nothing seems to have happened there. And the captain turns after moving full distance down onto a ship, and he's still kind of backing up a little bit. He turns and he just looks at Dietrich like, oh no, I can't see Dietrich. He looks at Dermot just like dead in the eyes, in the cold dead eyes of Dermot the bear, and just kind of looks around at the rest of you like he's studying each and every one of your faces. That's going to be his turn.
But not.
Flora, you get to choose who goes first. or it could be. Sorry, Dermot, you get to choose who goes first because you were last. So you get to choose who goes first. You can either go first or you can choose any one of your companions.
I will shout out.
Maybe we should grab the canisters.
5 of them are still on their ship with their men. One of them is sitting at where Dietrich was standing.
Nice.
And then I'll look Dietrich.
I am on the underside of the
So
ship.
you can't
Yeah,
see Dietrich.
I'm
Well, you can
saying
look
that you
over.
should
Yeah,
go
you can look
first.
over.
I'm saying that your turn next.
All right, so you're starting us off, Dietrich.
Cool. He was pretty badly hurt. I think what he's going to do is he's going to sit down and he's also going to just concentrate on the people with the crossbows trained.
Well, you can't see any of them. You're on the other side. The underside, everyone is scrambling to turn off the arcane device.
Got it.
And they
Then
can't see
I
you.
didn't hear the captain probably say that they were retreating.
You can hear that. Yeah, it's just that he's bellowing out. You just
Shatter.
can't. You know. Okay, on the same spot.
Yeah.
Roll a percentile. No, I don't need the damage.
99.
That's it. So the entirety of the deck explodes up. You only needed a 50 because you've gotten 46. The entirety of the deck explodes up and out, and a couple of the people in there kind of explode up and out with it. The more and more of this Ethereum starts to explode outwards and then starts to kind of pool and collect, and enough of it seems to come together that it kind of like almost floating in the air, defying the gravity around, becomes more of a large ball. And as these guys, these two people are floating and tossing through the air, one of them gets his hand stuck in it. And as he does, you see the horror on his face as his arm just starts to disappear, like somebody sticking their hand into a portable hole. His hand and arm just start to disappear into this ball. And he starts to scream, and everybody hears this horrific scream. Gonna get a little graphic here for everyone. Content warning, sorry. As almost like you might imagine somebody who got a limb caught in a meat grinder. As he gets to where his head and shoulder are, you start to hear bones snapping and breaking. And his head turns very unnaturally to the side as the rest of his body kind of folds up, and you see him kind of alien force through this small sphere.
Deep cut.
Into hey, it is one of the best scenes if you want to see overly ridiculous explosive decompression. And he just basically gets crumpled into this sphere. As the sphere, other little droplets seem to start being attracted to this sphere, and the captain up top just kind of looks down. You can see he might be able to see part of what's going on through the hole, through the hole in the ship. Like the center of it's kind of hollow, but you can't really tell exactly. And he just screams, "No!" And he just kind of looks over again, and almost like, yeah, everybody who can see the captain, everybody up top, give me insight checks.
Natural 20.
Nice.
26.
So
I rolled a 1.
8.
15.
15 and then definitely a natural 20. Natural 20. He's not going to do it, Kira. You're very sure of that. But for the briefest moment, it looked like he was ready to tell. He was going to tell everyone to go take your ship. But he kind of saw you guys. He saw the guns, and he just went, But it really looked like he was scared enough to think he needed to get off of his ship. And then the storm starts to disrupt, and it turns into more of what you would expect a chaotic storm to be like. And it feels much closer as lightning, arcane lightning, starts to rattle through and the eye disappears and closes up, and all the droplets, some of them fall back down towards the planet, some fall up towards the ship. And all of that kind of happens all in that moment right after Dietrich does that. And Dietrich, that's only the top of the round. Who are you picking next?
So Dietrich saw enough of what just happened, and he's going to walk the opposite direction towards the other end of the ship. We'll go ahead and say that Lilac, you look concerned. Let's go ahead and have you go next.
Why does Lilac not look concerned?
It's just their
Valid.
default. I'd be concerned if they didn't look concerned.
Lilac is just like the concerned meme face, like that. So yes, with all of that going on,
He has a concern.
Since the magical attempt failed, but then Dermot gave him that little pep talk. See, Lilac's conflicted and concerned because they don't know if they should continue trying to attack this guy or just book it. But you know what? Just one more attempt, digging deep into themselves and shooting blue lightning in the direction of the captain.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
And I am rolling. Ooh, okay, that's a 17, so that's a 19. Plus the 4, so 23 to hit.
23 hits.
Okay. Now I'm rolling a die that I never, ever, ever roll. A d12.
I thought it was like, is it the d20 you roll when you want to kill someone?
Okay. That is, well, it's only 4, but 4 lightning damage, but it's a sustained streak of lightning from him to Lilac right now. Like, this is some Palpatine action. It's
Nice.
a little upsetting. But yes, Lilac is just gritting their teeth and lightning out at the captain for 4 damage.
Lilac is Jedi confirmed.
As the lightning streaks out and zaps the captain, Drek, he kind of staggers a moment, almost takes a knee and stops himself, catches himself on the railing, and just shoots Lilac the dirtiest of looks. Like there's just anger and
Okay.
and just very frustrated. All of that kind of happening in one fell swoop there. Lilac, who are we going to next? Or do you have anything more?
Nope, that was it. I would like to go to Piper.
So we saw that folks are still attacking, is what I'm seeing. Okay, so and I heard Dermot yell out to get, why don't we get the canisters? So Piper, being fairly close, is going to go ahead and cast Expeditious Retreat on herself to triple her movement, basically, for the round. Sprint on their ship, grab, see, they're 100 pounds each. I think I can, with a strength
You can
of...
drag them, absolutely. 2 of them? Yeah.
She's going to grab 2 of them and start dragging.
Yeah, 1 in each
getting
hand and
to the
drag
ship.
them 100 pounds each. I absolutely reasonable.
Yeah, she's going to grab them and run back to the ship.
Okay, all right, no problems there. Nobody stops you. Everyone's dealing with what's going on their ship at this
We
point.
now have 300 pounds of...
We do.
of
That's amazing.
Yep.
Hell.
Piper is tiny, but she's a fucking
You have-
beast.
You have the strength of an ant. You can pick
Yeah,
up things that are 5 times your
No, I said
size.
drag. Let's be clear here.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
she's
deadlifting
moving.
like he was.
Because she can, 3 times her speed, she can get there, grab them, and get back onto the ship.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so you
Yeah.
leap over to the ship. You grab 2 of these canisters. They're now just rolling around on the ship, and drag them back over. All right. Then we
Captain,
have-
let's go!
Captain's already ahead of you and starting to move. I'll assume that's you calling on the captain to take their turn, which we should have included them last turn. I forgot. And the captain starts to guide the ship towards getting them moving already was people were already starting to making that happen when they heard the explosions on the other ship with the shatter. But they're definitely, they would rather fight at a distance than fight close if they need to. Who's next, Piper, after that?
Dermot.
Is question, this is all within happening all at once. I can still get to the ship myself if I need to.
What's that? You can get over to their
I can
ship,
still,
yeah, but the captain
it hasn't
is moving
moved
the ship
away yet.
Not yet, but it's going
Okay.
to be. It's starting to.
Right. I just basically start casting a spell on myself, and just kind of mumbling and whatever, and cast Bull's Strength with Enhance Ability on myself, and for my as my action, and I'd like to go over and.
What does that put your strength up to?
Grab one. It doubles my capacity.
Oh, okay, all right. So
my carrying capacity is a 10 strength, and it doubles my capacity.
So that becomes, what is it? What is the drag of a? Do we know?
Like
Anyone?
teddy bear?
I'm gonna say we can guarantee that you can get one canister easily.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's
sure
all I was trying to.
Okay, so you go.
I have a very low strength.
I was gonna say but with that, with bulls and strength, absolutely. You go over, you grab the canister by the handle, and you're able to kind of drag it over with a little bit of an oomping. You get it back onto your ship as well. And who do we have left?
Do I see Dietrich?
Yeah, you see him as you're kind of crossing over. You see him. No, actually, he went over to the other. He walked on the back. So as you come back, you see him kind of popping back up onto the deck from the other side.
Okay. Bonus action healing word then.
Oh, okay.
On my, as I'm coming back, I'll do that.
Excellent.
So next person who hasn't gone, raise their hand. Flora, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna move the. It takes an action, unfortunately, but I'm gonna move the moonbeam onto the ship and hit the captain with it again. So I need a con save.
All right.
You need 14 healing, Dietrich.
Poison.
I did not make that.
Okay, so he takes 2d10 radiant damage. Nice. That's going to be 18. And with my... Oh, no, that's not a bonus action. So, yeah, that's going to do it for now. So, Curie.
Okay. Curie, all the while this was happening, was reloading her crossbow, and with just like the most nonchalant focus, and then just takes another shot with the crossbow. This one is not poison. She does not bother doing it twice.
Okay.
She took another bolt out. I'm going to use the inspiration that I still have to re-roll.
All right.
24 to hit.
Hits.
All right. That is 8 piercing damage and 4 for her sneak attack damage because she won that insightful fighting.
All right. Flora, how much damage did you do? I'm sorry.
18.
And how much did you do, Curie?
12.
He does drop down onto one knee at that point with the poisoning and just that amount of damage constantly hitting him over and over and over again. He doesn't go unconscious, but he does drop to one knee and he has to fully catch himself on the railing. And he just focuses on the ship as a whole, not on necessarily one particular person, but just watches and glares as you start to move off.
Curie's reloading.
Anyone else doing anything as you move off? Do we need to continue?
If he starts his turn in the space of the moonbeam, he takes more damage.
How far away can you keep concentration on that? I think it's infinite, but some spells say that if you move out of range, but like heat metal, you don't have to keep line of sight for heat metal to keep concentration. You can keep it forever anywhere.
Specifically say so it ends if I lose concentration. I haven't taken any damage, so I haven't. It also ends if I choose it to end. I can move the beam 60 feet in any direction as an action on my turn. It doesn't say that it ends.
A certain distance away.
No, it doesn't say that anywhere.
He does start his turn there. So how much more damage? Do I need another check?
It's another con save.
Okay. He makes that one.
Okay. He takes half of 14, so he takes 7 more points of radiant damage.
Okay. He's just glaring still.
Has he moved more than 30 feet away from Lilac? Because I still have the sustained lightning bolt. Okay, then that broke.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been until... Does that go off again on his turn or your turn?
My turn.
Yeah, because the ship is moving away, so it would break. All right. We good other than that? Nobody's going to take any more pot shots?
Yeah, she's just... Piper's just going to stand guard, but if Curie's taking pot shots, take your pot shots.
All right, Curie.
Yeah, I'd like to. My hand crossbow does have a limited range, though. So after 30, I have to take it at disadvantage. I think that's how that works. That's how the longer end of your range works, right?
Yeah, disadvantage, correct.
Okay, so I'm further
you're
than
just a
30.
straight shot though, because you have advantage.
Okay.
Oh no, you don't have advantage. You get
attack regardless.
Got it.
So at disadvantage, I rolled a 22. She is laser focused. If she knew what a laser was,
so 22
we'd
hits.
probably get distracted and chase it around. Sorry. Okay.
That was good. Sorry, I'm very sorry I interrupted that joke. That was a really fucking good joke, and I wish I hadn't talked over it.
That is
We'll get it in the retake.
9 piercing damage and 7 sneak attack damage. So that is 16.
He drops. So he drops. He is down on the ground. You see him drop as you are moving well out of distance at this point, because again, this ship is very, very fast.
Can I still see him?
Technically, but he's even beyond your long range.
Still loading, and by the time she looks up, we're out of range.
Yeah, because again, these ships move very fast once they get moving.
Flora doesn't stop concentrating on her spell.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. I'll have to decide what happens with that later.
Damn.
So are we technically kind of out of...
We are out of combat now.
Because if it looks like everyone is still kind of taking shots...
There were a couple people taking shots at the end, so if you want to get one in as well, that's actually... I need to know.
Okay, that I was trying to figure... Because I feel like since he broke the lightning, then I probably would just, as a final, since everyone else is doing it, just shoot one more lightning chromatic orb, because that one is in range.
Perfect.
So,
you guys are a bunch of vicious assholes. I love it. Such a difference than what you usually play. I'm really enjoying this.
18 to hit?
18 is the magic number.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So I'm doing lightning damage again, and that one is actually 3d8, so...
I was gonna say, I didn't do any extra damage, and I'm like, no, I went and I stole the extra canister, so I guess that's still pretty out of context for me.
So that is 16 lightning damage, just one more little... There you go, from Lilac.
How much?
16.
16 is a little? Is that what you just tried to say to me?
Yeah, just a little goodbye. Thanks for causing me strife with my new kind of friends, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. As yours and Curie's both hit, Curie's drops him. So yours strikes right after he drops. And then the next one on the moonbeam, and that would be 2 death saves failed instantly within a few seconds, and you really don't know what's going to happen after that because he's out of, you can't really see.
Poison doesn't affect the saving throws.
Poison. But as he kind of goes out of sight, Flora, the last thing you can see, everyone else is out of range. You see him still laying in your moonbeam when you guys are out of sight.
Can you like make it moonbeam harder?
No, you
Just
can't
as like a
make it
flex?
No, but let me know if I need to roll damage.
You don't need to roll damage because at this point he's unconscious. It's just an automatic death fail because every time he takes damage. So that would be, let me think, 1, 2, 3. That would be 3. So
all of that just kind of like,
all of that kind of
clink,
happened at once. It was just,
shoo,
and his dead body is like sitting there shaking, and yeah.
and Lilac just smacks their hand over their mouth like, oh crap.
And then his body starts cooking in the moonbeam as it's laying there. It just starts to kind of burn.
If we can see that, she finally lets the moonbeam go.
That's like the last thing you're seeing as you're moving away.
It's so sad. They played the most beautiful song in my head.
Oh, you heard a pretty song? Mine was terrifying and awful.
A song in your head?
It was very pleasant. I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah, you can't quite pull it back.
Oh, I wish I had pretty music in my head. Mine hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Dietrich! And Piper runs over with and lays on hands.
Oh, I got him.
Damn it. Patch me up unless you can fix tea.
It was a social distancing hug from over here.
Thank you for the effort. That was regrettable.
Well, we have the Ethereum.
I mean, as long as there's actually something in there. Did anyone check yet?
No.
Well, we have the canisters to hold it if we don't.
I'm really
Hey, well,
scared to kind of look in there after that.
So remember, not only Dietrich saw what it does.
I heard the screaming though.
You did hear the screaming.
Is there any sort of like fill line? You know, like there's like a little glass
No.
indicator.
But they are made out of iron, and as a matter of fact, do we have anybody who has a background with blacksmithing or crafting?
Yummy.
I do a little bit of jewelry tinkering.
Jewelry is
that's
not going to be
crafting.
You did say they were locked, though. I think
they're
you?
not locked; they're latched, but it's a very, very secure
Oh.
latch, and it takes 2 hands. Yeah. It's like a double move to unlatch it. But it's while it's iron, it looks a little weird. There's something strange about it. But that being said, you do see the latching, how it works, and you can't imagine unless these were solid and not hollow, which they'd have to be hollow. They do weigh over 100 pounds each, so they're probably full. They also do slosh, and if it was just water in there, they probably wouldn't weigh this much.
Got it.
Because water is, this stuff is obviously denser than water.
Right. Well,
because yeah, it probably holds about 5 gallons, and that would only be about 40 pounds of water.
Right.
So, fair warning, don't open that.
Will do. I mean, I won't do, but you know what I mean. I won't open it. I will heed your warning and not open it. Did that make any sort of sense? Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense to me because I don't want here. Take this one.
All right.
We have maybe a tip.
Is
for the
everybody
man.
okay?
More information if we give him more of the liquid, right? We could hope.
Yeah. You guys okay?
Let off.
Yeah.
frustrated.
Dietrich,
He just
I
kind of
may
like fixing
Oh,
trigger
why did
finger.
he hit you
angry.
over the head with it? Was that
Pro-
part of the plan?
It's a hot head.
No, I think it was because he really wanted Peanut. I think this bears a conversation with our. As far as not the right word, our very special passengers on their particular significance in this area. Because we keep flying blind, and I don't care for it.
Maybe that's some of the information we could get from him for the extra liquid, the extra Ethereum. Because if he knows something about why people are so interested in Peanut, he might be willing to trade it. And he's a bit dark, but at least we know he's willing to trade, and he didn't try to kill us after we made a trade with him.
That could have gone very differently, and I am grateful you all were there.
He could have hit a vital organ. I'm glad you stayed conscious. It's really bad when you fall unconscious.
It's touch and go.
Well, now he is.
That's a fun game, touch and go. It's tag. It's basically just tag.
That's oh my god, that's what TAG stands for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's today I learned.
What? I was today years
Holy
old.
crap!
Ren
The
and I
more
were
you know.
Yep. I was
Yep.
today. Holy crap!
Let's just say Curie actually
now-
said
Now we have to come back for this magical memory moment of being in our whatever age that we are and not knowing that.
I love things like that. I love when that happens. To be fair, I didn't know either, but I just
TAG
didn't.
just
I
meant
just,
tag. I mean, I thought the word was the word. I didn't
Yeah.
think about it. It's amazing. Anyway, sorry. Totally derailed everything. I didn't mean to.
it's perfect.
Yeah, well, there's gonna be consequences from that one, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
There always are.
What's the process for renaming a ship?
Legitimately or
Who are you
illegitimate?
asking?
Your first mate, Lilac.
Oh, nice.
Lilac
sure-
doesn't initially hear that because Lilac still has their hands over their mouth and is just having a little bit of a moment. I think contemplating whether or not they just helped kill somebody.
They're gonna have
So-
to learn how to be okay with that.
Makes you feel any better. Flora did a lot of it.
You can put it on Flora.
Yeah.
Can you compartmentalize?
I don't know. Wait, what? I'm sorry, Dietrich, what? I'm sorry.
Was that your first time?
Dude,
Killing.
Excuse me?
your phrasing is terrible.
First time
Oh,
killing.
right. Yes, no, that well, obviously, who goes around killing people?
Everybody looks really awkward.
Well, what do you define going around? That's so
I mean,
crass.
self-defense.
Specific times and places, sure. Not just going around.
It's any consolation. He started it.
He did with a big bludgeoning object.
Technically, that is technically true. He did start it. But in actuality, we technically started it by lying to him and misleading him, and that was
Gross
We-
overreactions are
have
not justified.
That's true. I mean, we were willing to make a different trade. It's not like we just said, go away completely.
He decided that violence was more valuable to him than a slightly less optimal deal. And that's not our fault.
Flora,
I
please roll
decided just
percentile
now.
for me as we got to pop the peanut. For
No.
Flora, but all right.
Peanut.
Breaking up the sad.
Oh,
Peanut
God, you gotta turn your
sneezes
mic
out
off
a
for that.
contract law book.
Sorry, I keep forgetting. 56.
56. We're actually going to end on this note.
Oh, damn. I had to go
This will be one of those cutaways that we all know how it's going to end, so we're gonna go ahead and just move on. As Peanut is looking up at Flora as Flora is speaking, and almost like nods, like I understand what you're saying. I understand some of these words, and then starts to sneeze, and sneezes, and his mouth gets a little bigger than you've ever really seen before, like almost as wide as Flora, just in the moment of the sneeze, and out pops and flumps onto the ground, kind of curled up as it starts to unwind, a large, giant spider. And it turns and like skitters up and starts to hiss. And we're gonna stop there.
Oh, friend.
Because it is not a friend. And it is going to it will be attacking, but we're gonna call that like the end of the thing, because we all know you're gonna defeat it. We all know you're gonna beat it.
Are we gonna start the next episode with us just picking up the viscera?
Yeah, probably, yeah, probably, or sitting down to spider leg soup or something.
We'll be eating shawarma, and there's
spider legs in
everywhere.
the like inside of the.
We had space sushi. Sushi.
Sushi. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the pop of the peanut. Thank you for our new followers. Thank you for the donations tonight. We could not be doing this without all of your assistance. We really appreciate it. And your support helps support all of us. We get things moving on and allows us to do this. It allows us to run our other shows, which support our creators. And this pays the bills, and it's really incredible. So thank you guys very, very much. We know everyone's struggling out there. We know how hard it is to give right now. So again, every little bit helps. Please tell people about the show. Tell your friends. If you're enjoying it, maybe they'll enjoy it too. That's the only way we're going to grow. Go to visit our sponsors, Die Hard Dice and World Anvil, and we will see you next week. I think. Are we good? Anything I'm missing? What's our next show?
Power Hour.
Power
Hour tomorrow. Angela does the Power Hour on Wednesdays.
No idea what I'm doing yet. I'll figure it out.
And then we'll go ahead and do a little raid over to our friends at Perception Studios as we do our end credits. Thank you guys again. Once again, this is our new end credits, which is the same as our intro video, and it will have all of our the new stuff in it. So see if you can catch everything, and you might see, like I said, our new little special friend. All right, guys, we'll see you next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. PST, right here for the continuing adventures of the Goonies, the Shenanigoons. These guys. Bye.
Bye.
Sailing the stars in search of a harbor. Won't you join our crew? Lilac steady even when it gets heavy. Amidst the chaos, they'll see you through. Detritus disdain hides a gentler refrain to keep our spirits up. And where there's a fight, there's probably Piper. She's tiny, but she's tough. and small. And there's Flora to smile through the horror and wonder of it all. Dermot the bear looks through his vacant stare, but they will fluff you up with their hamster Peanut to help when they're stuck.